it's emerged today that Meghan Markle is all set to foist upon an unsuspecting world her own tell-all story of struggle and triumph. I simply can wait.
Although you can see that the old the Montecito PR machine is in full flow this morning, because a story, front page of the Telegraph, they've actually got a picture of the Duke and Duchess of Netflix, and there they are with some lovely little kids, and they're being sort of rehabilitated. And already there's a story out there saying, you know, that there's a lot of disappointment from the veterans at the Invictus Games, that other members of the royal family aren't attending. Except, strangely enough, they don't actually quote anybody. And they talk sources inside the organisation.
Gee, wonder where that story came from.
Do you think it might have emanated from the Meghan Markle PR camp?
Yes, exactly, and the Harry PR
Because the royals, apparently, from those people who know about it, told me that they all do their own separate charities. They don't mingle with each other. You know, Prince William does his thing, you know, Harry does his thing, Charles does his thing. They don't all join in.
Well, let's get real about this. Why on earth would any members of the British royal family go over to the Invictus Games or talk about the Invictus Games? This is nothing against the Invictus Games, but it's Harry's project, and Harry has set out his stall as someone who is not really a part of the royal family. And apparently these veterans, these mysterious veterans, unnamed, who are close to Harry, they are furious that the royal family have spent more time praising the Highland Games than the Invictus Games.
Well, that's
probably because they enjoy the Highland Games more than the Invictus Games. They're allowed to, you know.
They're always at the Highland Games, and the Invictus Games is Harry's kind of pet project. But just to mention our friend with a great name, Bernard Looney, we mentioned him yesterday. He's the chief of BP, or he was. He had to resign.
Departing chief.
Had to resign as a result of some flings that he didn't tell them about with colleagues at the organisation. Apparently, him leaving has wiped £2 billion off the share price, which is pretty extraordinary in one day.
Exactly.
Incredible.
But, I mean, presumably because he was quite good at his job, but this...
But he was quite good at quite a lot of jobs.
Sounds to me that this comes down to, you know, all this sort of corporate virtue signal. Yeah. Because apparently he had a few relationships, bit of a lad.
But so whose fault is it, though?
But he wasn't fully honest about it. Now, I would say, why don't you get over that and keep a guy who's good at his job? Yeah. He was so good at his job, he was earning 10 million quid a year, but they've got rid of him because he was a bit sort of dodgy. So
it's actually not the affairs that have cost them the money, it's the fact that they fired him that have cost them the money.
But he had romances that they didn't like, and now they've got rid of him, and they're paying the price. Absolutely.
And there's some talk of them now trying to claw back some of his bonuses. Good luck with that, because they're the ones that fired him. A couple of other interesting ones, just to jump in on you. Thousands of HMRC staff are routinely failing to show up at the office, even for 1 day a week. Customer service levels are apparently falling to unacceptable levels, which is good news if you owe money to them, I suppose, because it means they won't be able to keep chasing you, because they don't keep turning up for work.
Well, if there's one sector of society that's even worse than the NHS, it's the banking world. You know, I suppose, to be fair, if they don't turn up to work, they haven't got enough time.
Yeah, but these are the tax collectors. This is revenue and customs. They're saying as many as 2 in 5 revenue and customs workers did not go into the office at all in the year to March. Not at all.
Well, I would say this. They're still being pretty damn vigilant, because they're on my backside big time.
Well, I mean, imagine trying not to pay tax. I mean, they soon find you, don't they, very quickly.
Well, I'm not succeeding in not paying tax. I seem to write them a massive cheque about every other day.
Yeah, well, that's because you work so much.
Yeah,
stop working so much. Take the advice of the doctors, right? That's why they only do a 3-day week.
My brother is my tax advisor. I think I'll sack him.
Yeah, I think he's trying to work you to death. I mean, that's the problem.
I think he's done a deal with HMRC. They're splitting the profit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Absolutely extraordinary.